Hello everyone, it's Shannon here and welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. I am going to be using these products today, the square doily die right there, the Congrats stamp set, and the Celebrate word die that goes along with that Congrats stamp set. First thing I'm going to do is just trace on a piece of scrap white cardstock that square from the square doily stamp set. I'm using my Ohuhu markers today. These are new markers to me. They're alcohol markers. I'm still playing around with them. I would like to do a review video for you guys if you're interested. But I'm still have some more things I want to try with them before I'm ready to put that video together. But it'll be together soon. But it does have a chiseled tip. It has kind of a fine tip and a chisel tip. I'm using the chisel tip today. If you have Copics, you can definitely do this with your Copic markers. So what I'm calling this technique today is marker stripes with inlaid die cuts. So I'm going to start by creating stripes on this scrap of white cardstock. I'm going to use that chiseled side, and I'm kind of bending at the elbow to kind of keep a straight line. I'm going at a diagonal, and I will do a rainbow. I have my markers already arranged in a rainbow color, in a rainbow gradation. So that's really easy. I'm just going to pull and go down the line, and then once I've gone through the line, I'll start back over again. So really simple. So just bending and because I'm using that chiseled tip, they're all going to be about the same thickness, each stripe. And just going down. It goes really fast. You could do this with if you have a stamp that's like a solid line, you can do this with the stamp and your inks. The only downside to that is that you just end up having to clean your stamp pretty frequently as you change colors. And I like the look of the markers. They're very intense. So that's kind of the fun part of using your markers, is they're really intense. And this is a good way to use your Copic markers in a different way, or your alcohol markers in a different way. You know, we always use our markers to color, but here's something kind of fun and different to do with your markers. And even if I mess up a little bit, or miss the stripe a little bit, the preceding stripe, I just go back over with my marker and kind of touch it up. So you don't have to be so careful or worry about being perfect here with this technique. And I do like it when I overlap my colors a little bit. It kind of creates a third color. So that's a nice thing you can do with your markers, or even if you're stamping your stripes, you can do that to overlap your colors. It just kind of creates more interest, I think. And if you can hear, I'm sorry, I'm a little sick. I'm on the mend, but I sound pretty terrible, so I apologize for my voice for this video. Okay, so that's all. My stripes are done. Now I'm going to die cut that. So I'm pulling out my dies again from that square doily die set. I'm going to angle this just a bit. I want those stripes to be diagonal, but I want them, especially that red and orange stripe in the center, to kind of be meeting the corners at a 45-degree angle. So that's why it's kind of angled a little bit, because I'm trying to keep that at 45-degree angle. Just looks cleaner and crisper that way. And my lines are relatively straight. Okay, so I die cut those two. And you can see already, just like that frame, how fun these colors are. And like, oh, I don't know, like I kind of went overboard. When you see the end, you'll see all my samples. I had a lot of fun with this technique. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just popping all the die cuts back in place the way I cut it originally. So you can just see that. Now I cut a backing for it, so I just use that square and I cut a backing out of some white cardstock. I'm going to glue down this frame, the outer frame, and I'm just using some glue here. This is actually a Mod Podge matte glue in a fine tip bottle, which I'm loving. It's been working really well for me. Okay, so I glued down that frame. Now I'm going to start showing you how you can play around with like the patterns from these stripes. So you can continue and go with the grain, but just flip it. So see, now my orange stripe is now matched up to the red, or you can totally flip it and go against the grain, as you see here, and have more like interest that way as well. So that you can really have fun playing with these stripes. There's against the grain again, just turned a different way. I think for this one, I'm going to go against the grain. So I'm going to glue that down real quick here, again with my Mod Podge matte glue. Pop it in there. And now I'm going to play around with these circles, these die cut circles. So again, I'm going to put them just for you guys so you can see kind of where everything came from and in reference to it. So that's how they were originally cut. So I'm going to pop them out. I don't want to do them how they were originally. I want to kind of play around with this. So I'm putting them in the corners where they were originally, and now I'm going to turn them around. You put them in the opposite corners, see? Because you get more contrast that way. And I'm going to purposefully put these in, though I didn't quite do that one on the corner right there, where they are opposite. So I'm lining up with the grain again. So you can see all my stripes in the inner square are all going the same kind of direction. But when I put these circles in, I'm being conscientious of the colors of the square and the colors in the circle, and I'm kind of going opposite colors. I just want a lot of contrast. So I'm doing like blue right there next to yellow, you know, and the yellow next to the pink. I could have just done the yellow next to the yellow, but it wouldn't have been as interesting. So I'm trying to really play with the contrast and get lots of contrast. So there you go. You can kind of see how that looks. So now I'm going to go against the grain again. So with that inner square, the stripes are going from the upper right down to the bottom left. But now I'm going to go against that grain. See, with my stripes there. And that almost has like a woven look to it, which is pretty cool too. So you can have a lot of fun playing with the direction of your stripes. There's more combinations than just these, what I tried, that I showed you, but you can just see like the rabbit hole that you will go down playing with these stripes. You'll see at the end, yeah, I went a little overboard, but I was really having a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm just going to go with the grain. I decided just to go with the grain this time of that inner square. So all my stripes are going the same direction in that inner square. And there you go. And you'll see me adjust here. I like to, though I'm not perfect, I did it by hand. I like to try to get my stripes going the same direction as much as I can, but I'm not stressing about it. I don't care. It looks good without it being perfect. But there's one where I'm going all the same grain, so you can see another look. And they look different, you know, like they're similar colors, yes, but they do have a bit different look. So you can see why you would have a lot of fun playing with this technique. And if you're worried about making your stripes or you don't have markers, you can use pattern paper. This is made with pattern paper. This is just stripy pattern paper. I just recommend, using smaller stripes so you get more, the stripe is more obvious. If you use big stripes, you kind of lose the look of the stripes when you start to do the die cutting. Okay, so I've got that piece of my card done. Now I'm going to take this is a square card base that I've made. I'm just going to splatter I have black acrylic paint mixed with water, and I'm just splattering it on with my paintbrush. I like to show you this just because some people, want to know how you splatter, and that's how I do my splattering every time. And I like the acrylic because it dries and I don't have to worry about anything smearing once it dries. Okay, so now I've got a dry one there, and there's that inlaid die cut panel that I made. And I use a Celebrate word die, and I cut with a foam Celebrate and a cardstock, white cardstock Celebrate, and I adhered those two together. And I also stamped It's Your Day from the Congrats stamp set on a strip of black paper. I stamped it and white embossed it. So there's that. So now I'm ready to put this all together for you guys. I also die cut a little bit of the end of the sentiment of the Celebrate out of foam because I already know how I'm going to adhere this, and I know I need that for support for the Celebrate because I'm going to have it go past. See how I've got it going past that inlaid die panel. So that's why I have that cut. I just wanted to show you guys that if you wanted to know how I supported that. So I'm just trimming off. I don't need all of that. I kind of eyeballed it when I put it on there where I want it to go. So I know it's going a little bit. The ATE is going to go past the inlay die cut panel, so that's what I have cut with foam, and I'm just adhering that portion. So now I have 2 layers of foam there for that ATE part. The whole thing is on craft foam, and then that ATE is a second layer of craft foam. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so there's my panel. I did put foam tape on the back of it to add some more dimension. I'm just angling it here, and then I want that sentiment to hang off a little bit too, so I'm going to use some foam tape and adhere that to the edge of it, and I'll glue the other portion of it, the left side of it, onto the panel. Okay, so there's all my elements. Now I'm just ready to glue. So I'm going to pull out my glue again and then just adhere it here. And we're on home stretch. Just got to glue down the Celebrate. And it didn't quite dry. I should have let it dry longer, but you know, I'm impatient. So we're just going to pop it back into place, that ATE, and then once we get it down on the card base, it'll all be stuck. And again, this is a square card base that's 5 1/4. And we'll stick it down. Okay, so now the fun part, y'all. You get to see all the ones that I created. So that one's done. That card is finished. So here, and I don't know, I just love that. I might be the only one, but I'm in love with this marker stripes. You might see this again in the next, I don't know, a couple weeks. Here's another one. So this one this is one of my tips. I go on Pinterest and I type in color palettes, maybe like a pink color palette or purple or red or whatever. And that's how I get some color combo ideas. So if you ever have a hard time coming up with color combos, go to Pinterest and do that. So there's a really bright rainbow one. So what I love about these cards is this is not like a feminine design per se. It just depends on what colors you use, the palette you use. So this is a great card to have in your pile for masculine birthday cards, or even just masculine cards in general, like thank you cards or anything like that. So this is just a fun design. I really liked it. I hope you guys give it a try. If you want any product info, please visit waffleflower.com. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day.